Let's get insight now from our panel. Patrick Duddy is the former U.S. ambassador to Venezuela under Presidents George W. Bush and Obama, and retired Army Brigadier General Mark Kimmitt served as the Assistant Secretary of State for Political and Military Affairs under President George W. Bush. Great to have both of you here. Ambassador, hang on for 1 second because I've got some questions for the General about this one strike and these allegations or questions about war crimes. General, second strikes on a target are not unusual, but second strikes to kill survivors who pose no threat are illegal, according to the Pentagon's own Law of War manual. Secretary Hegseth says the decision to do this double tap, the second strike, was Admiral Frank Bradley's and not his. But isn't he in charge, and isn't the Admiral following his orders?
Yeah, well, first of all, not only are second strikes against innocent personnel illegal, but first strikes are as well. American servicemen and women do not kill non-combatants. We don't kill prisoners. We don't torture prisoners. But again, I think we're all getting hung up on the distinction in the military between the terms authority and responsibility. It is clear that Admiral Bradley had the authority to carry out these operations in concert with the guidance given from the President and the Secretary of Defense. But the ultimate responsibility still is with the President, the Secretary of Defense, and Admiral Bradley. As we said in the military, we've always known in the military, you can delegate authority, you can't delegate responsibility.
Yeah, there's reporting that Secretary Hegseth gave the order to, quote, kill everyone. He denies that. And that Admiral Bradley was following his orders. The Admiral will testify on Thursday about all of this, but if Hegseth gave that order, kill everybody, would that be legal or illegal?
To use an old term, it depends on the context. Look, I think the other important thing to understand is this is a situation that happened on September 2nd. I think that's most disappointing is the suggestion that the military knew about this and didn't report it, and only the Washington Post found out about it. You're alleging that there is a collective conspiracy inside the military to keep this information away from the President and from the public, and I just don't believe that. I'm glad there's an inquiry happening starting Thursday. I think it's important to get the facts out rather than the spin we've been seeing.
All the speculation is kind of insane. It is worth noting, General, before I turn to the ambassador, you know, the law of war says orders to fire upon the shipwrecked would be clearly illegal. Quote, it is prohibited to conduct hostilities on the basis that there shall be no survivors. And, you know, after World War II, we hunted down the German and Japanese soldiers who fired on our own sailors who were shipwrecked. We arrested, charged, and even executed them for doing so.
Yeah, I was at the State Department the time we put together the counter-piracy operations in 2009, and that was the clear directive as well. You don't kill the pirates if they are non-combatants. You apprehend them and you take them to Kenya for prosecution.
All right, Ambassador, we just heard President Trump and Secretary Hegseth say not only will these boat attacks strikes continue, but there will be strikes now on land. Trump said it's much easier to do it on land. We know where they live. We know the routes that they take. He said anyone making or selling drugs into the U.S. is subject to attack. What targets in Venezuela do you think he's talking about?
Well, he's almost certainly talking about drug labs, clandestine airports, and possibly departure points for the now largely suppressed maritime traffic. I think that the U.S. military and the intelligence community doubtless are also aware of routes through Central America. But for the moment, I think the focus is on Venezuela.
Trump has amassed a huge force off the coast of Venezuela, Ambassador, the largest in the region since the Cuban Missile Crisis. This is a lot more than you need to hit a few drug boats or even a few drug labs in Venezuela. Many people say this looks more like regime change than a fight over cocaine that mostly travels through Venezuela.
Well, I think it's certainly understandable that that observers seeing the size of our deployment into the Southern Caribbean assume that it is about more than striking relatively low-tech drug boats on the high seas. I think it's useful to remember that we are in quite a different situation in terms of our historic drug war. But the roots of the current crisis are deep. The regime in Venezuela was first declared or denominated a threat to the national security of the United States in 2015 by the Obama administration in an executive order. And Nicolas Maduro was indicted by a grand jury, I believe, in New York back in 2020.
No, he's a bad guy. Everybody agrees he's a bad guy who didn't win the last election. He just refused to, obey it, the results of it. He needs to leave. He should leave, but right now he's refusing to leave, even though there are reports out tonight, unverified, that he's being offered, safe haven in Qatar, the richest country on planet Earth. General, left unsaid in the remarks from President Trump and Secretary Hegseth today was how these land strikes would happen. Would this be by drones? It wouldn't involve American troops on the ground.
No, I don't think at this point there is any contemplation of troops on the ground. It would be done by drones, would be done by aircraft. But look, I don't think that is necessarily the case that we are going to conduct that. That large armada that you're talking about, as the ambassador properly recognized, is there for a term that he would be very familiar with, which is coercive diplomacy. We are certainly hoping that none of those have to be used, not our drones, not our fighter pilots, and certainly not our men and women on the ground. Hopefully that coercion can get Maduro to leave. If that doesn't, I think the president's prepared to take other actions.
Yeah, it would be hard to imagine that he's amassed all this there and put all this pressure and made all these demands that Maduro leave, and that Maduro just thumbs his nose and says, no thanks, I'm staying, and we go away. That I can't see really happening either. All right.
I think the administration...
Go ahead.
I think the administration has decided that Venezuela is the epicenter for a good part of the narco traffic heading toward the United States, as well as undertaking to invite malign actors from outside of the region into the Western Hemisphere.
Yeah, important to remember, close allies of Venezuela, Cuba, and Russia. General Mark Kimmitt, Ambassador Patrick Duddy, great to have both of you and your expertise on the show. Appreciate it.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.